It's a whole new world we live in. Pokemon Johto. Everybody wants to be a master. Everybody wants to show their skills. Everybody wants to get there faster. Everybody to the top of the hill. Each time you try, gonna get a little bit better. Each step you climb, one more step up the ladder. It's a whole new world we live in. It's a whole new way to see. It's a whole new place with a brand new attitude. But you still gotta catch 'em. Be the best that you can be. Pokemon Johto. Pokemon Johto. Pokemon Johto. Pokemon Johto. Pokemon Johto. Yo, what's up guys? TheInsaneGamefreak here to bring you Pokemon region reviews. Johto edition. Let's go. Doing Pokemon Johto this time. The Johto region, which covers everything in the anime, and this also includes the the Water Cup. So it includes this and that. Now, from the other review, I noticed the one thing I didn't mention was Team Rocket, which I didn't think mattered, and then I realized, oh wait, the first season had a whole bunch of Team Rocket development, so I might as well mention that real quick. And Johto has some Team Rocket development too, so I might as well mention that real quick to get that out of the way, so I don't have to address it for later. Essentially, Team Rocket's development is actually best within these two seasons, because, well, no, I take it back. It's actually pretty good. This is kind of the season. But their development in the first season, well, their backstories, I guess I should say, their backstories for the first season were actually pretty decent. And the second season kind of just expanded on stuff, but didn't really do that much. The third season is when I think some of the major development comes for certain characters. So, I guess the main thing we could discuss is that, you know, Jesse's had a Arbok, Ekans to Arbok, a Lickitung, and a Wobbuffet. I believe it's the three Pokemon she has consistently had. And a Chansey in some sense, depending on how you view that one, even though that's technically not hers, so we're not going to get into that. But those are the three main ones she's had. And up until freaking Johto, in Johto, she only has Arbok, and she only has Wobbuffet. Those are her two Pokemon, I believe. Unless I'm missing one. And I believe that's what she has. And James went from a coughing to a wheezing, a Victory Bell, a Growlithe, and by Johto, he just keeps wheezing and Victory Bell. And Growlithe was only there for one episode in his backstory, which I actually liked a lot. Jesse's backstory about being a nurse, I can kind of see, but considering Jesse's mindset and attitude, it's kind of shocking when you hear, oh, she wanted to be a nurse, and you're just like, yeah, no. And when you heard that she didn't make it as a nurse, you were like, oh, thank God. Thank God she didn't make it. It was one of those, oh, thank you, Jesus. But anyways, okay. So, as you guys know, Johto is like my second least favorite region. So that I don't, obviously I'm not going to be that hype about the region, but I do like this region for the most part. And before I tell you my reasons for liking it, I'm going to give you, as I did with the first one, to other people's views who find this to be their favorite region. Because I feel like if this is your favorite region, you guys will have the most to say on it. So I'm going to leave it off for Death God 840 and Tyrone the God 3. I find it funny that the two people that made responses have God in their names. Cocky, aren't we? Anyways, I'll let them explain to you why Johto is their favorites. There we go.
Hello everybody, Tyrone the God 3 here, and this video has no fancy little opening or anything, because this is mostly just a podcast video that I'm doing and results to the Insane Game Freak's anime Pokemon anime region review. So I'm just going to give my thoughts on my favorite region as far as anime wise, and this is just my favorite region, period. And if you haven't noticed by the three little Pokemon you see in front of you, Totodiles, Chikorita, and Cyndaquil, my favorite region as far as anime wise was the Johto region. I like the Johto region. It's one of my favorite regions of all. I mean, because just for the sole fact, there's several reasons why I like this season as far as anime wise. The way it presented itself. I mean, at this point, to our knowledge, we had already known that there was 150 Pokemon in the world, and then 100 new Pokemon come into view, and we're introduced to a whole new set. And if you haven't noticed, the Johto region was trying to come out so badly before its time. You could notice it by, like, Meryl being on Tracy's team, a couple of snapshots of Snubble and the Pikachu's vacation thing. Donphan was in the first 10 minutes of the Pokemon movie. And, yeah, just Togepi was in several episodes. So, yeah, Johto was waiting to come out. And when it did its job. It introduced us to a whole new brand of Pokemon. And I just liked it. Now, to get into the anime, as far as things went, they really started paying attention to the game when they made the anime season of this. They focused on the game a lot in the Kanto region, but they really started putting emphasis on the game in the Johto region. You could tell because Ash had done something that most people did when they start the Johto region off. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people when they were young, or when I was young, I did it, everyone did it, around the time I was like 10 or something. We lost to Whitney's milk tank. Her Clefairy was no problem, but her milk tank was the thing that wiped pretty much your whole team out. And it was frustrating. Ash lost to it too. And I'm glad to see that they focused on the fact that that milk tank wasn't just a pain to the people playing the game. It was a pain to even the person in the show. That proves that milk tank was very powerful. But I like the way Ash had banded Cyndaquil, Chikorita, and Totodile. I mean, it's not Cyndaquil, Chikorita, excuse me. Cyndaquil, Totodile, and Pikachu together to beat the milk tank. So it was pretty cool to see Ash make a comeback. And it's also cool to see that continuity was in effect when making the anime tie-in with the game. Another thing I like was Ash's Pokemon team in this one. He did the same thing he did as far as Kanto region, only he mixed some of his Kanto Pokemon with his Johto Pokemon until he had to let go of some of his Kanto Pokemon. And at this point, it was just fully Johto with the exception of Pikachu. I liked all three starters that he had because they each had personalities that you could clearly see the minute he got them. Cyndaquil had a shy-like personality, a curious-like, childish personality. Totodile had a playful, enthusiastic-like personality where it danced a lot, and it was just so happy and cheery. And then Chikorita, like, wanted all the attention, had a little crush on Ash. It was jealous of Pikachu for getting most of the attention. It wanted to be Ash's main Pokemon. And he caught them all in the order that they were supposed to be captured. I do believe he did. Yeah, I think he did. And I like the fact that he had all three starters in this region. And the pattern stops in the Hoenn region. But he did that probably because when it comes to all three of these Pokemon, how can you really choose? Like, my favorite is Chikorita, but given the situation, I'll definitely not hesitate to use Cyndaquil and Totodile if the situation need be. So, yeah, those are some really good Pokemon to use just edgewise. And then this is also the first and only time currently that Ash gets a different coloration to Pokemon. I mean, like a shiny Pokemon. He gets a shiny Noctowl, which displays itself as a wise Pokemon, a very wise and quiet Pokemon. His Noctowl is a different color, which means his Noctowl is specifically all its own. It's original. It's its own Pokemon. There will be no other Noctowl like that for real in the anime, I'm guessing. So it's kind of cool to see that this is the first and only region where Ash ends up getting a shiny Pokemon. If we're going on to talk about milestones, this is another milestone I want to bring up. This is the region where Ash beats Gary. And not just the cocky Gary that we came to love and freaking hate in the Kanto region, but the Gary that was mature. In the Johto region, Gary had gained more of a plot development, character-wise, because he was more mature. This Gary was more focused. After losing horribly in the Kanto region's league, he decided to lock down and be more serious. And even with all of his seriousness, the epic battle that he had with Ash, Ash ended up winning, and that became an important milestone in Ash's life, because Ash and Gary have had a big rivalry that's been going on since the beginning of the series, and even before the series. So it's nice to see that Ash locked down and was able to beat a rival that he wanted to beat for such a long time, and it made a lot of people happy. He didn't even use Pikachu in that battle. I guess they were trying to implement the old red and blue like Pokemon, because he had Charizard fight off against Gary's Blastoise. So I'm guessing they were trying to bring like the anime and the video game into view as their old rival battle, which was very good to watch. And I think it was a 2-part episode. Yeah, it was 2 episodes into 2 episodes of their battle. So yeah, it's an important milestone. And another thing they put into effect as far as the video game was the shining Gyarados that you meet. Lance ended up catching it, which I thought was kind of interesting, but it's suitable for him, seeing as how he's a dragon-type Pokemon trainer. So he ended up catching the Gyarados, and truthfully, I didn't even think they would pay that much attention to the shiny Gyarados. And I'm glad they also put into continuity Price and his attitude towards Pokemon and people working together. And Ash was able to turn the relationship of that around when he won the battle. So yeah, I'm just glad to see. And I like how Ash cared a lot about its Pokemon in this region. In the other regions, he mostly uses like Pikachu, then he'll use the other Pokemon occasionally. But like you could tell he cared, like when he got into the training regimen with Cyndaquil, when he let Charizard go to the Charcific Valley to train. And yeah, he did a lot of things to show that he really cared about his Pokemon in this one. And I like the personality that each of his Pokemon had as far as the series went. This is by far, yeah, one of my favorite of the anime regions, because a lot of very important plot points happen. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, the Johto region is my favorite. Tyrone the God 3 out.
Hey guys, what's up? It's DeathGod84, and it's a response to the TheInsaneGamefreak or Game Manic, whichever name he wants to go by. This is a response to what region is your favorite, and mine would have to be Johto. Johto to me was really cool because there's lots of memorable fights in it, like the one versus Ash's Heracross and this other trainer's Scyther. To me, that was cool. It was like an interpretation of Samurai versus Ninja, which I thought was cool. Also, some of the gym leader fights were pretty memorable. Like the last gym leader's Dragon type, because that's when Charizard came back. I was like, cool, Charizard. And this is where Ash came up with kind of a cheap / clever strategy, where he evaporated the water inside of the pool where Dragonair was, and he tossed the Dragonair into the pool. Yeah. Whatever. Also, with all the new Pokemon that were introduced into the series, like we got Electabuzz pre-evolved form, Magmar's pre-evolved form, and Scyther's evolved form. That's just to do remain 3. There's so many other different Pokemon, because I really enjoyed these ones because it was pretty much like Pokemon but chibi, which I don't know, to me it looked kind of cool. Also, this is like the first one where they introduced shiny Pokemon with the red Gyarados, and that's when Lance came in, and it was cool to see a member of the Elite Four helping out Ash and his friends defeat Team Rocket to save a town from the red Gyarados, which I thought which was pretty cool. And Johto had the best movie. It was the Pokemon Movie 2000 movie. And I remember Lugia started to talk, and it had the 3 legendary birds, and we had a pretty cool villain where he's just trying to collect Pokemon, like a average person will do in the game, just capture and not even use them. And right now we're talking about the gym battles. The first 2 gym battles aren't really good. They're okay. I think the second one was kind of funny because Ash got his ass kicked by Metapod a few times, which I thought was pretty cool. And the first one was just birds. Pikachu can just own them. Doesn't really matter. The third one, I'm not sure about the third one, but I think he defeated her in one go. But I do remember the fourth one with the Ghost Gym Leader and his psychic friend. Which I thought was cool for a psychic friend, because they went inside the burnt tower, or bell tower, or where Ho-Ho, supposed god of Pokemon, once arrived there. Like, I think it was like every year. And one day that tower was burning, and so Ho-Ho and 3 Pokemon were inside of there, so Ho-Ho gave them powers. So came Entei, Raikou, and Suicune. And the only one Pokemon was ever in the show that was Suicune. And that was the psychic Pokemon, the psychic trainer. I forgot his name. Psychic trainer was trying to capture him because I forgot his reason. I think because he was just majestic. Maybe, I don't know. And then we're going to next the Steel Gym with the Ampharos and Steelix. First up, the Ampharos. When Ashley's friends get there, the Ampharos is sick, so they have to get this medicine from the lighthouse. And after they solve the whole thing, they battle. And I think the finishing blow was Cyndaquil versus Steelix, where Steelix dug holes and Cyndaquil got into the holes, and Cyndaquil used Flamethrower to finish off Steelix. I believe that was the finishing blow. And next we have the Fighting Gym. Again, not really the gym I'm most fond of. Mostly it's not really memorable. I do remember he had Hitmontop. That's it. So the next gym, well, the one I just talked about Charizard and Dragonair, that's like the only Pokemon matchup I remember. As I just stated, Charizard actually had to use a strategy to evaporate the water in the pool, and he kept on doing it. And then once all the water was gone, Charizard seismic tossed Dragonair, which was kind of sick. And next we're going to go to the league. The league was I don't remember fond of it. I'm not sure Gary was there, but I remember a trainer with a Blaziken came in there, and that was pretty cool. Charizard versus Blaziken, which was an epic fight, and Ash lost again, so he's not the Pokemon Master. But that's pretty much the end of Johto. Anyway, this has been DeathGuy40, and hopefully I'll be in Game Mag video. Alright, peace.
Okay, so you gotta, the fan, from people who this region is their favorite, you got their perspective on it. And I will agree on a lot of things. I think Tyrone mentioned it. It's that, as this is actually one of my favorite things about this region too. This region focused around the game continuity a lot for the most part. There's still some moments, but for the most part, this is probably the most game heavy out of the first 2 regions. And I mean, because they feature the Team Rocket stuff, the Red Gyarados stuff. I mean, fuck, they even get certain points of the arcs are like even the whole Ho thing around Eckertite City, the whole poisonous thing, not poison, illness thing with Ampharos, with Jasmine, so they had to go to Chuck, fight Chuck, get the medicine, and, you know, they still have to do that in the anime too. I mean, obviously they don't. They even went into explanation for certain things, like for Price, for example. Price is a cold bastard in the games too, but in the anime they kind of explain it with him and his whole Piloswine thing. You know, that in itself for Johto was actually pretty good development. I actually like that about Johto, is that Johto kind of sticks to the games, even though Johto has a random sub point, which is known as the Water Cup, and this is actually kind of it's kind of a pointless subsection to me, because it doesn't even last that long, and very little is gained out of it. I guess the one of the main things that's gained is that you could say, I believe Misty catches a Corsola, and we get to see my boy Kingler get wrecked by Psyduck, which I still think is bullshit. That's just me. I'm a little biased though. We also get reintroduced to Gary, and Gary's a little bit more mature now and doesn't act like a fucking 5-year-old, which, you know, shows his development as a character. The gym battles are greatly better than what they were in, you know, the first season. And I'm trying to think if that's all the main things about Johto I like. Because the gym battles are better, and they actually did one thing that I really like. Ash only had to, like, rematch one gym leader. And it's the gym leader that if you were playing Silver and Gold and Crystal, you fucking hated. And that was Whitney. And we all know, most people who played the game, if there was a gym leader you were going to rematch on, it's Whitney. And it's not our fault, because I know all of us remember that when we went into there and we were like, let's go in here and handle this. I mean, it's Whitney. It shouldn't seem like a threat. And you fought against Miltank, and you're like, this doesn't seem so bad. Roll out. First turn. I got this. Roll out. Second turn. Oh, shit. Third turn. Fuck! I mean, because, you know, as Pokemon fans, most of us picked the fire type. And Kulava had nothing. Had absolutely nothing on our Miltank, especially by the time he got to that second or third roll, you were fucked. It only took like 3 rolls for Miltank, if that. So you had to play a whole bunch of hack shit. You had to paralyze it and put it to sleep. And oh yeah, the milk drink. The fucking milk drink. All I have to say is that Ash lose against her. That one, I kind of respect it because, damn it, she was hard, period. She's annoying. She's an annoying ass gym leader. Period. First playthrough, she's probably the one you're probably going to lose on. Ironically. Her or Claire, and, you know, Claire is Claire. But I will agree, because I believe Def God mentioned that the gym battles are better than they are in the first season. You know, Brock came back, and that was always a plus. I guess I should talk about the difference, the changing of the teams. You know, which Pokemon got brought in and got let go. So I believe in this version, I believe in Johto, Misty catches, I think, has a Politoed at the end of, catches a Poliwag and gets it all the way up to a Politoed by the end of Johto. She has a Corsola. I believe those are the only 2 she actually gets. Brock gets a Crobat by the end, has a Fortress after catching a Pineco, loses his Vulpix. I know I'm missing one. And I can't think of it right now. I believe that is it for Brock in retrospect, because I don't think it goes any further than that. And then we go to Ash, and I think Ash is, and this is one of the major cons I have. This goes into one of the major cons I have with Johto, but I'll go ahead and talk about it. This is Ash's Johto team. You got Pikachu, you have Noctowl, Heracross. I believe he gets a Phanpy, and I forget if it evolves into a Donphan by the end of this, but I think it does. A Dolphin. Noctowl, Heracross, Dolphin. Bayleaf, Cyndaquil. Yeah, Bayleaf, Cyndaquil, Totodile. I believe that's it. For the most part, I believe that's all he has. That's his Johto team, mind you. And then, if we talk about which ones he releases Squirtle, he releases Charizard. He sends Heracross and Bulbasaur back to Professor Oak. I remember that specifically. I'm trying to think of what else he gets rid of. I believe those are like the main ones. He essentially gets rid of almost all of his badasses from his teams. You know what? It wouldn't have been a big deal. A lot of people get pissed off at Ash for the fact that he released like a lot of his, iconic members. But you want to know what made that worse? And this is one of my main gripes about Johto. His new team was annoying, was either pointless or stupid. That's the best way to put it. It was very pointless and stupid. And let me explain. His team was bullshit. I mean, I understand why he switched out. For people who don't understand why they had him switch out, is that if anyone saw him at the beginning of Johto, he had Charizard. He was hexed. He was fucking hexed with Charizard. He could literally went through the entirety of Johto and wrecked everybody with fucking Charizard. And his old team was strong as fuck. The whole point of Johto, I guess the whole thing is that it would have been way too easy if he had used his entirety of his old team. And I understand why they switched them out, but the new team didn't have any character to them. Like, Noctowl had a little bit, and then they just said fuck Noctowl after a point. Heracross got fucked over a while ago. Even though Heracross is probably my favorite out of his new team. And the only one out of his three starters they actually gave development to was Chikorita or Bayleaf. And Chikorita and Bayleaf were fucking stalkers. Fucking stalker. It was a fucking stalker. They gave it like I believe this is the first time they have like a Pokemon be emotionally attached to Ash. And, you had the cute moments where Chikorita was fighting Pikachu for Ash's love and crap. But it's not like Bayleaf was bad, but that's all that was really to her character, is that she was a fucking, she was a stalker. She was a fucking stalker, that was it. Totodile was kind of just an annoying retard and couldn't compare to Squirtle because Squirtle actually had history. Totodile was kind of just there. Same thing with Cyndaquil. Cyndaquil was played off as a coward. Not really as much to work with, and he never really changed that much throughout the series, throughout the entirety of Johto. The hell. His team was horrible. And that's what kind of ruins a lot of the episodes in Johto for me. Because if you don't realize until it's gone, but the Pokemon kind of made the filler episodes enjoyable. And considering most of Ash's team in Johto was kind of bullshit, the fillers aren't as cool, But then again, there are a lot in Johto. They do a whole bunch of the Lugia episodes and the Entei and the Suicune episodes, but Ucine and the Morty shit. They compensated for all these mishaps with more canon in-game based episodes. And fuck, I will say this, and this is still true to this day. But right now, Johto has the best fucking league matches in the entire series. The best fucking league matches. And that has a little bit to do with Harrison, but that's mainly Gary. Because everybody wanted to see Ash fight Gary, and it was a real fight. And you want to know how you can tell that, Ash's Johto team sucked? How much of Ash's Johto team was in that fight? How many of Ash's Johto team Johto team characters were actually in that fight? Barely any, if any. I don't think any were in there actually in retrospect. Except for Heracross. Heracross was a beast. So I was like, fuck yeah, Heracross. I just like Heracross because he took down a guy. Heracross is like this version's Kingler. Because Kingler gets punked out too many times too during this, which kind of pisses me off. But Heracross took down a fucking Matt Martin. I felt so goddamn proud. I would say right now, and I will always say this, that Johto has the best league matches. But Johto also has the worst Pokemon development. I didn't care for I wasn't emotionally connected with any of Ash's team. Because it just wasn't interesting. Also, the battles are better in Johto, but a lot of them are forgettable. A lot of them are really basic. no one remembers Flanker. No one remembers Bugsy. You know, Whitney sticks out because you had to repeat her. Morty's isn't necessarily memorable. Chuck's was kind of a joke. Jasmine's was meh. Claire, I believe Whitney and Claire are like the two ones you remember the most of. And that's nothing, it's not a big deal, but I'm just saying, for Johto, the battles were either really basic or really boring. Maybe that's just me. To me, they didn't feel especially the beginning matches. The beginning matches were so fucking boring. I did not care about Flanker or Bugsy for that matter. I mean, Whitney kind of stepped it up, and Morty's alright. I mean, the fact that we see Morty twice kind of gave that one more meaning. And I guess the last thing I could mention in terms of Johto is that Johto is good, but Johto shows the biggest problem with the series. That if you're going to switch Pokemon, they gotta be interesting Pokemon. And literally what saves Johto from its own oblivion is that it has a lot of in-game canon. But let's say it was in the style of the first game and didn't have a lot of in-game canon. A lot of the filler episodes would have been total shit, and some of them still are. That, the other problem with Johto is that Johto shows how repetitive Team Rocket got. Team Rocket got so fucking repetitive. And it was so goddamn annoying after a certain point. And I guess the only other thing I can mention for Johto is, the pairings. By the end of Johto, you felt this true bond with Misty, Brock, and Ash. And we also, got the pairings with Ash and Misty, which is one of the other reasons why Johto gets a lot of points. Because people are like, oh, I love Misty, I love Brock. And, this is the last season that she's in fully. Brock we'll see for another 2 seasons, but that's not the point. Johto's fine. But Johto to me will never hit the nostalgia of Kanto, nor will it ever be, my favorite as Hoenn was. So, in comparison to those two series, yeah, it's, the second least favorite of mine, but it's not really, that doesn't make it a bad season. It's just that the two things it was going against was hardcore nostalgia and a really good fucking season to me. So it's still not bad. It doesn't even seem like I've said that many negatives about it. It's just that the first season's more iconic, and I love the filler in that. Even if the filler isn't that much of canon, I still love the filler in Kanto, which is why I give Kanto so much credit. And when it comes to, just being a good season and me liking the majority of the things about the season, it goes to, Hoenn. I love Hoenn. The only thing about Hoenn I don't like is the fucking league matches, but just going into Hoenn, we're not going to do that right now. In terms of pairings, also we do get to see Ash as a little bit of pimp in him, because there are a few girls who fall for him in this arc. It happens in later arcs too, but yeah. There's no character development barely for any of these characters. That's the other problem. That's one of the biggest problems actually to me. Is that there's no character development for Ash. Ash's true growth, it's like he grew in Orange Islands and then just started wrecking shit. He just started wrecking shit in Johto. And it didn't really, I didn't feel like, I felt growth, but I didn't feel it the right way. You didn't really feel that growth until that league match with Gary, I'm not gonna lie. That's just my shit, man. That was one of my favorite fucking matches. And you guys know you love that goddamn matches. Like, when it comes to filler, Johto filler, I can't even think of that many Johto fillers I cared for. Even the Lugia stuff I didn't care for. It was an okay filler, but there aren't that many Johto fillers I gave a shit about. I do like the way they've reused Charizard and Squirtle and his other characters, that they're usually brought back for hardcore fights, like how he brought Charizard back for the league match against Gary, which is what, we all wanted him. It did the whole red versus blue thing with the whole the whole Blastoise versus Charizard. When Charizard wrecked Blastoise, everyone in the if you been wanting to see that fight forever, I swear to God, when I saw that, I was just like, yes! Yes! No! Seismic toast for the motherfucking win! And I'm weird like that. But Johto's fine. It's just what I'm comparing it to is what puts it so low on my list. It's my favorite. It's my third. It's my second least favorite because because my first two favorites have so much on it in like different ways. That's just me though. But I think I've rambled on for enough. This is about 20 minutes long. Probably more than that actually. So tell me what your favorite things about Johto are. Tell me what your favorite episodes from Johto are. And, just give me all your cool shit. Because me, personally, I don't have that many favorite episodes from Johto except for, like, the league matches. I think some of the Bayleaf episodes are funny. And maybe the episodes when they had Charizard be hexed out. Like, I remember this one particular filler where, like, I think the chick's name is Casey. Had, like, a Chikorita. And we tried to challenge Ash's Charizard with it. And it was just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? It was actually pretty funny. But... oh yeah, and there's no development for Pikachu in here either. Now that I think about it, but that's getting on besides the point. But anyways, just give me your thoughts, your opinions on the whole situation, and I will see you back here for my favorite region review, Hoenn. So, gotta catch them all, and I'll catch you guys later. Life's a game, play to win. Peace.